Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video we'll be brute forcing our way to victory in some random battles. Let's get into it. On the first turn I go for the substitute with my Whimsicott, which he breaks with the Several Edge Bitter Blade. I then switch into the Entei as he goes for another Bitter Blade, which I tank with no problem. He then switches into the Chrono as I go for the Stomping Tantrum and do barely anything. Expecting the water move, I go back into the Whimsicott as he goes for the knockoff, does some good damage, gets rid of my lefties. My opponent then switches again, this time goes into the Oricorio as I set up the Leech Seed, starts sapping away that health. After that they pull the double switch and go back into the Several Edge as I set up my substitute. Behind the sub I set up the Leech Seed again as he goes for the Bitter Blade, breaks my substitute but I start getting that health back. Not wanting to go for the substitute, I'm going to go back into the Entei, tank the Bitter Blade with no problem. Expecting to switch back to Chrono, I go for the Sacred Fire, trying to get a burn, but he ends up staying with the Several Edge, forcing me to activate the Weak Armor as he goes for the Poltergeist but thankfully misses. Trying to preserve Several Edge, he switches back into the Oricorio as I go for another Sacred Fire, do some good damage to the bird. Able to outspeed, I go for another Sacred Fire, he just hangs on and goes for the Quiver Dance. With those boosts, he's able to outspeed, go for the Roost, get a good amount of his health back as I fire off another Sacred Fire. Expecting another Roost, I switch into my Dreadnought, but he actually ends up going for the Hurricane, thankfully misses. I get lucky as he misses another Hurricane, and I use this opportunity to go for the Shell Smash, get those boosts. After smashing a Shell, Dreadnought's ready to do some damage. Go for the Liquidation, take out the Oricorio. He goes back into the Chrono, I'm able to outspeed, go for the Stone Edge, take out the Chrono. The next Pokemon is then the Mesprit, again, able to outspeed, go for the Crunch, take him out in one shot. My opponent then forfeits. Good game. Alrighty, let's get into game number 2. I start with the Gumshoes, they start with the Pheasantipede. They outspeed and go for the Beat Up, hit me all 6 times, and unfortunately get that Toxic Chain going. Gumshoes is not a fan of that, he's able to retaliate with the Earthquake, take him out in one shot. The next Pokemon is the Vivillon, expecting either a flying or a bug move. I go into my Sudowoodo, but he goes for the Quiver Dance and gets those boosts going. After that he sets up a substitute, but Sudowoodo doesn't care, goes for the Head Smash, breaks the sub. He tries to set up another substitute, but I go for another Head Smash, break the sub right away. I think we can all predict what's going to happen here. Substitute, broken by the Head Smash. Thankfully, throughout all, the Sudowoodo was able to hit every single Head Smash. Now that he can't go for the substitute, I go for the Sucker Punch, finally clean up the bug. After all that fun, he goes into the Mimikyu, goes right for the Sword Stance, gets those boosts. I go for the Head Smash, break the disguise. With the boosted attack, he goes for the Wood Hammer, does that big damage, but Sudowoodo just hangs on. Able to retaliate with the Head Smash, I take out the Mimikyu. The next Pokemon is in the Iron Shreds. Trying to get a little bit of damage, I go for the Sucker Punch. He goes for the Iron Head, takes me out. After Sudowoodo, my next Pokemon is a Conkeldurr. He goes for the Earthquake, I tank that no problem. Go for the Close Combat, take out the Iron Treads. Off of the down, I get the Burn, activating my Guts. He then goes into the Galarian Slowking. I go for the knockoff, do huge damage, and he just hangs on. He then goes for the Future Sight, but that's not stopping Conkeldurr. He then switches into the Ditto, copies my Conkeldurr. I go for the Mach Punch, do some big damage. Ditto then goes for the Mach Punch. Conkeldurr just hangs on. Go for another Mach Punch in retaliation. Finally take out the Ditto. Unfortunately, that Future Sight finally comes through and takes out Conkeldurr. Off of the double down, he goes back into Slowking. I go into the Spectier. Able to outspeed, I go for the Shadow Ball. Take out the Slowking. Good game. Alrighty, and that's the video. Please let me know what you guys think down below and stay tuned for future content. Peace.